much effort to collect this information, but the guild cannot under any circumstances allow it to become public. I'm shelving the plan to use Carnival as a model for adventure development. I was afraid of that, thought Aina as she pulled her shoulders just a little farther back. While working solo, slay a large amount of killer ants before taking down a minotaur in one-on-one combat. That was a very brief summary of how Belle reached level 2. Should this strategy be made public and used by many low-level adventurers as a method to level up quickly, then there was no doubt the number of casualties would be off the charts. Low-level adventurers would think the guild was making a joke at their expense. We'll need to sweep this under the rug. I'll take care of the higher-ups myself. I'm very sorry, sir. Aina's boss, a gentleman with thin features, took one last look at the document before shutting it deep in the bowels of his desk. Most likely, no one would ever see it again. Lightly scratching the long ears on top of his head, the man turned away from his desk and back toward the girls with a very disgruntled look on his face. Tulle, one more thing. What is it, sir? Please try to keep your emotions in check from now on. Yes, sir. I will be more careful. After being scolded for that last incident of the morning, when she had shouted Belle's personal information in the crowded lobby, Aina deeply lowered her head in apology. Grateful to her superior for overlooking the incident, she sighed quietly to herself. The man took a moment to clear his throat and said, "Next, Frot," looking toward the human girl. "Why yes?" The quality of paperwork submitted to the Denachus was extremely poor. Especially the last one, for adventurer Carnival. But, sir. He leveled up so soon before the meeting that I had no time. I did the best I could with my back against the wall, so please don't question the effort that I put into making it. I understand what you're saying, but I'm talking about the whole project. Should we receive any complaints from the gods, it will be your job to talk to them alone, Frot. I can't help you if it comes to that. Why, Aina, sobbed Misha as she wrapped her arms around her friend's shoulders. Aina sighed for the second time in as many minutes. Their supervisor turned to face his desk with a very curt "You may leave." The two of them backed away from him and started walking toward the exit. But rather than returning straight to the lobby, they decided to stop at the break room in the corner of the office. Using a magic stone machine they had operated many times before, both of them had a cup of hot tea in their hands in no time at all. Tell your little brother I said thanks a lot." Little brother? He's not the only reason for what happened today, Misha. Not listening. Can't hear a word you're saying. Swish. Aina could only look on in astonishment as her human friend's shoulders slumped, turning away. Misha's pink hair swung lightly around her chin as she sipped tea and tried to make herself as small as possible. She hasn't changed at all since our school days, thought Aina with a grimace on her face. Not to change the subject, but what was with all of them? Everyone seemed really uptight. Well, they aren't usually like this. They couldn't find a single relaxed face among the guild employees from their vantage point at the corner of the office. Many of them were up, pacing back and forth in front of their desks. Those who were sitting in their chairs kept looking at the clock as if it were about to explode. The office was normally filled with pens racing across parchment, but that sound was nowhere to be heard. Actually, the two girls had a pretty good idea of what was causing the heavy mood. It's just past 3 in the afternoon, it's over, right, the Denachus? Most likely. The results should have been delivered by now. This was the usual scene on the second floor of the guild after a Denachus meeting. The guild employees were very interested to know the titles assigned to adventurers. The people of Gekai had to take their hats off to each of the names given, and nobody could wait to see what the gods and goddesses would think of next. Seeing their superiors like this was nothing special to Aina and Misha. They had seen adventurers do exactly the same thing in the lobby many times. Are you excited, too, Aina? I wonder what names came up this time. Yes. I'm a little interested this time. So it's true? Actually, one of my adventurers leveled up, too, so I can't wait to see. Their conversation was interrupted without warning by a bang. An office door had been flung open, slamming into the wall behind it. All eyes in the room turned to face the doorway. A man stood in the frame, trying to catch his breath and carrying a bundle of paperwork. It's here, the Denachus results are here. Finally. Hey, open it up, already. All the employees dropped everything and rushed toward the door. The mob encircled the man as he passed out sheet after sheet of documents containing the second names of adventurers. Voices of praise and amazement started ringing out almost immediately. Take a look at this one, this nickname. Whoa, awesome. They never disappoint. We'll never measure up. The gods really are different from us. The Hand of Strength and Grace, by Olanti, gives me goosebumps just reading it. This is so exhilarating. The gods just come up with this stuff off the top of their heads. They really are worth looking up to. The guild office was suddenly alive with excitement, especially the male employees. Aina and Misha's supervisors seemed to be all in agreement, standing in a circle and talking as though they were of one mind. A group of women from another department arrived on the scene, their higher-pitched voices joining in the mix of enthusiastic chatter. Misha stood just outside the break room, separate from all of the energy across the room. A sudden shiver ran down her spine, twitching her shoulders. They're starting without us. Let's go, Aina. Sure. Aina followed her into the fray, making sure not to lose sight of Misha's pink hair as the human girl fought her way to get a copy of the name list. Belle's face suddenly popped up in Aina's mind. Oh, a softer name would be better for him. What if they named him something like the Crimson Adventurer, Bloody Guy? Suddenly she could see herself telling him, with Belle puffing out his chest with pride and her sweating, as she chose her words very carefully. While not necessarily feeling that such a gallant name would be completely unsuitable for Belle, somehow it didn't fit his image. Biting her lip, she did her best to calm down and prayed that she wouldn't have to face that situation. Aina, I got it. Quick, have a look. Misha waved her over, a big smile on her face and a list in her hand. There were several documents containing the title selected for the adventurers. The two of them started at the top sheet, their eyes working down the list through the second and third sheets. Aina finally found what she was looking for at the very bottom of the final paper. Oh, Belle's name? Aina couldn't control the laughter pouring out of her. Her pinkish cheeks tightened, her lips quivering into his soft smile. Misha leaned over the list, trying to find his name. Aina read it to her out loud. It's Little Rookie. Chapter 2. Changing Environment, New Relationships. I'm lying here, looking up at the white ceiling. I'm the only one in the room under the church, and I'm sprawled out on the sofa. There's really nothing for me to do besides zoning out and letting the day go by. Tick-tock tick-tock. I can hear the gears inside the clock on the wall as it marks the steady march of time. It's been 3 days since the fight with the Minotaur. This is becoming a habit. I'm getting used to daydreaming for long periods of time, motionless. I slept for 2 days at the hospital inside Babel Tower after that fight. It took a heavy toll on me, neither my body nor my mind held out at the very end, and I just shut down. Apparently I slept like the dead, nothing but a bump under the sheets. However, I was awake enough at one point to see a look of relief on the goddess's face, and Lily's, too. That's the only thing I can remember after the battle. After that the goddess and Lily half carried me back here. I spent the rest of that day on the sofa, exactly like I am now. Level 2. I'm a level 2 adventurer. Hearing that I leveled up brought a smile to my face. The proof that I'm closing the gap between me and her is now etched into my back. But I just can't get over the fact that I won. I beat that Minotaur. It's like a never-ending transparent reverberation, unrelated to the heat of victory. But it's not a languorous sensation, more a feeling like water rising up out of a flowing spring. Saying it feels like accomplishment would be an overstatement, but it doesn't feel like I've been released from a burden, either. Loss, yes, I feel like I've lost something. I can't put it into words very well, but something about that Minotaur meant a lot to me. Of course, leveling up is important, but the fact that I slew a Minotaur feels heavier somehow. I reach down beside my hip, grab what I'm looking for, and raise it up to the light. A sharp point, its charred surface having a few cracks. It's a horn that looks a little bit like a long dagger. The drop item Minotaur horn. Lily told me that when the Minotaur turned to ash, only the magic stone and this horn remained. She'd already exchanged the magic stone for money, but she held on to the horn for me. Holding it under the magic stone lamp, I scrape off some of the burned surface. I watch as the greyish dust falls off the surface, exposing a reddish layer underneath. I wonder if that's how it originally was or if my magic had something to do with it. It's a very robust horn. To think the Minotaur was thrusting it at me right at the very end. Somehow, the fearsome roar that has been in the back of my mind since that day a month ago seems distant now. All that's left is the silent horn in my hand, like some sort of parting gift. Okay. I get off the sofa. My body is surprisingly light. I've got to pull myself together. Clenching my jaw, I put the horn down out of sight. Enough of this brooding. I need to move around. First thing I do is check the clock. Actually, I'm going to a party today. It's at my usual bar and cafe, the Benevolent Mistress. Truthfully, the party is to celebrate my leveling up. I told Seer that I'd leveled up this morning, when I went to return a lunch basket, and next thing I knew I was going to a party at the Benevolent Mistress. I think she wants to get me to spend money. It does sound like one of her plans, and I don't really need to hold back, but it just feels strange. Would have been nice if the goddess could have come. I don't think she has time. She said that she and some other gods are going to go out for a drinking party of their own. I'm not sure if it's a celebration or if they're trying to cheer somebody up, I just know she's busy. When she came by after the meeting, she told me my title was Little Rookie. Little Rookie, Well, the goddess seemed happy about it. She threw her arms around me and yelled, "This is great, Belle. You got a good one." So I'm not disappointed. I've been alone with my thoughts since then. But now it's 6 o'clock in the evening. Time to get a move on. I leave the hidden room under the church and make my way outside onto the street. The western sky is already turning red. It's almost night. I make my way through the side streets and out onto the busy main street. There he is. Eh? It happens just as I'm about to join the crowd. A sudden loud voice fills my ears. WH what? I don't even have time to look around before a wave of people surrounds me. There, gods? Couldn't find the lowly lady's home anywhere, and we've been looking real hard, too. But it was worth staking out this area. Lying in wait is the key to hunting, you know. So you finally came out of your hole, Lil Bunny. I'm scared. They're getting closer, surrounding me. I don't know why, but alarm bells are going off in my head. Especially that last one. My blood ran cold when he winked at me. What the hell is going on? What are they doing here? What are they talking about? I'm so confused. First come, first serve. Belle, want to join my familia? If you come with me right now, everyone will greet you with open arms. Hey, idiot. You sound way too desperate. Wait your turn, why don't you? That's why your familia is still so tiny. Blabbermouths, out of my way. Belle, come to me. For it is you who has stolen my heart, you naughty bunny. What do you have in mind for this child? They're arguing with one another and coming closer, step by step. I have to say something, so I clear my throat. Ahem. A familia welcoming me with open arms? Why now? Every single one I went to when I first came to Arario showed me the door without a second look. I, already have a goddess. I'm a member of Hestia Familia. All previous relationships are meaningless in the eyes of love. Don't you think so? You're too good for the lowly lady. They aren't listening. But a serious question, what's the secret to your fast growth? Raw talent? A skill? Or perhaps foul play? A rare skill, a rare skill? Is it true? Is it true? It has to be a rare skill. I really wanna know what's written on this boy's back. If it's okay with you, would you take those clothes off? Just the top is okay. I'll even pay you? Hee hee. We could always force him out of them. Foo ha ha ha. I run away with all speed. He's here, meow. Ah ha ha. Fashionably late, aren't you, Mr. Adventure? The sky is completely dark and the moon shines brightly over my head by the time I reach the Benevolent Mistress. I reach out to support myself against one of the pillars by the front door, hunching over to try to catch my breath. Huff, 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 I'm going to need a moment. I flew through the back streets, doubling back many times to try and shake my divine pursuers. I only lost them just a few minutes ago. I should be in much better shape than them, so what was that? They almost had me a few times. It felt like I was running for my life. I've never thought of gods and goddesses as scary before. Why all of a sudden? Seer and everyone's been waiting for you. Meow. The kitchen's really busy, too. We're bending over backward to accommodate you. Meow. So get in here. Meow. Sorry. They couldn't start without the guest of honor. Go over there, quickly. 2 waitresses, Anya, a cat person, and a human, come out to meet me and usher me inside. If I remember right, the human girl's name is Runoa. She's laughing, too. I wipe the sweat from my face and stand up straight before setting foot in the bar. Mr. Bell. We're over here. I swear there's a customer in every single seat in here. But just over the lively mass of humanity, I see Lily standing on a chair and waving with a big smile on her face. I invited Lily to come tonight. It's not every day that I get to do something like this, and she responded with a resounding yes. So I asked Sia to prepare a seat for her. It would have been nice for Ace to be here as well, wouldn't that be something? But she's somewhere in the lower levels of the dungeon right now on an expedition, so inviting her wasn't an option. Trying to get the what-ifs out of my head, I give a quick nod and wave back at Lily. The table they reserved for us is close to my usual counter seat. Sia and Ya are sitting beside Lily, dressed in their nice-looking waitress uniforms. Sia's eyes meet mine as I work my way through the crowd. I bow my head, mouthing, "Sorry I'm late," over and over. Bell? Hestia Familia? Just as I'm making progress toward the girls waiting for me, I suddenly feel all the eyes in the bar lock onto me. The topics of the conversations around me change without warning, like a spark igniting an inferno. I don't stop moving as I look around in every direction. A white-headed human, that's him, all right. What did they call him? Little Rookie? That punk-ass kid? You heard? He's the record holder now. Who said he's gonna keep it? The gods are just awestruck, nothing more. 1 month is nothing. You got that right. But I've heard that he really did slay that Minotaur. You know the one, the lower 9th. So he took out 1 Minotaur, big friggin' deal. Could you kill a Mino at level 1? On your own, I might add. Who in their right mind would try something that stupid? Eyes glinting at me from every direction, I weave my way through the maze of tables as quickly as possible. The air around me is swirling with hushed whispers. Being the center of attention like this is overwhelming. I must look like a criminal or something. A man stops talking on the spot when my eyes happen to meet his. With ice flowing in my veins, I duck down as low as possible and quickly escape to my destination. You've become the talk of the town, Mr. Bell. Ah, really? I can't relax anymore. Even on my way here, I was chased around the city by a group of gods. That is the fate of all adventurers who become known. You are not being singled out, Belle. Please put up with it for the time being. I can feel all the muscles in my face droop. I must look pretty funny because Lily's trying hard not to laugh at me. I scratch the back of my neck with my left hand out of habit, making small bows to everyone in turn. Well, now that Belle is here, let's get this thing started, shall we? Sia and Leo, are you sure it's okay for you guys to be here with the bar like this? I'll lend him the 2 of you. Make sure he's well fed was Mama Mia's instruction. That and spend your cash. Hearing Leo imitate the owner's, Mia's, accent in her calm voice makes me chuckle to myself. As for Mia, I look over my shoulder to see her standing behind the bar, waving her hand and giving me a hearty smile. Must be her way of telling me to live it up tonight. It's not long before we say cheers and clink our glasses together. Mia suggests that I try ale for the first time, being a special occasion and all. For now, I've got a small jug of the stuff in front of me. Sis holding a citrusy cocktail, Lily's gotten sick of ale so she's drinking fruit juice, and Leah refuses to drink anything except for water. Wait a second, Sia and I are the only ones drinking alcohol? As soon as food starts arriving at our table, all the eyes around the bar finally turn away. Such a relief. Anya and Chloe drop by our table a few times for some friendly banter and we start to have a genuinely good time. I know that Lily and Leah have a little bit of bad blood from an incident when Lily was still a thief, but it's never come up, and Lily is laughing and looks like she's having a great time. Seer is smiling ear to ear, while Lure is responding to their questions as seriously as ever. I wonder if something happened before I got here. I keep catching Lily looking at me out of the corner of her eye. Now, Belle, drink lots and lots. You're the star of the show tonight. Or maybe, would you like something to eat? Tea, thank you. Suddenly Seer is at my side, waiting on me hand and foot. Getting me more ale, loading up my plate with food, filling my jug. She's zipping around all over the place. And for some reason, Lily's usual smile is scary. Even though I'm feeling kind of awkward, Seer looks like she's enjoying herself. I could be wrong, but you seem to be in a very good mood, Seer. Do you really think so? I think she blushed a little bit just now. I can't tell anymore because she's hiding her cheek with her hand and giggling behind her shoulder like someone's tickling her. It might be a bit bold of me to say this, but I feel like I helped you when I gave you that book. And thinking about that makes me, I don't know, happy. She must be talking about the grimoire. She won't take her warm gaze off of me. Our eyes meet and she smiles even wider. It's almost intimidating. The muscles in my face are locked in place. What does it look like right now? If I may say, Mr. Cranel, congratulations to you. To think that you would be able to level up on your own. I seem to have underestimated you. It's nothing. At the same time, I get a compliment from the other side of the table. Leo's expression hasn't changed at all, but I'm still embarrassed. Many people helped me out, it's all thanks to them. Even you, Leo. There is no need for modesty. Of all the level 2 categorized monsters, defeating a Minotaur is worthy of praise. Mr. Cranel, you are allowed to be proud of your accomplishment. Leo said everything in a very deliberate, serious voice. She looks at me with a refined gaze from across the table. I just noticed something about myself. I'm not good at taking compliments. My face is turning red and my throat is so tight that getting the word thanks out of my mouth takes everything I have. To top it all off, Seer is giggling at me. Lily was worried sick about you. Her heart was breaking over and over. I'm sorry, Lily. But you looked really cool, Mr. Bell. I can't take much more of this. Lily leaning up to my shoulder with her big smile as the finishing blow. Her cheeks are rosy pink, and those large, chestnut-colored eyes of hers are so close I can see myself in them. It could be the alcohol, but my entire body feels hot. Mr. Cranel, what is your plan going forward? Question mark. I am curious about what the two of you are planning. After talking with Lily, I hear Leo's voice again as I'm trying my best to fight off the effects of the ale. Without really taking time to think about her question, I start talking about my plan for tomorrow. Well, tomorrow Lily and I are going to go buy some new equipment. My old armor was completely destroyed. About that, Mr. Bell. What is it, Lily? There are many things at the shop where Lily is staying that need to be done. It doesn't look like she will be able to join you tomorrow. What, really? I can see Lily shrinking in her chair, looking very apologetic. But considering all the shop has done for her after everything that's happened, it can't be helped, so I tell her not to worry about it and start thinking about what I should do. I want to start going into the dungeon again soon, and I need new armor in order to do that. I should be able to find new equipment on my own, right? I could go by myself tomorrow. Sure, I'm not as good at judging quality, but this will be a good learning experience. In that case, are you going to go shopping alone tomorrow, Belle? It looks that way. Then, would it be alright if I came with you? Huh? Sis' suggestion catches me off guard. I can only choke up a surprised response. Lily jumps, too, but soon crosses her arms and lowers one shoulder at Seer. She looks like a boxer before a fight. Why do you ask? I need to buy some things pretty soon anyway. I might get in the way, but if it's okay with you, Belle, I want to go shopping with you. No, Mr. Bell. Miss Seer only wants you there to carry her bags. That's right, Lily can see your hidden agenda. Mr. Bell, she's planning to make you carry so much that your bones will crack. Turn her down. I'm not going to buy that much. A bead of sweat rolls down my face after Lily's outburst. She's standing right next to me, so I look up in Sis' direction. But she seems unfazed and smirks at Lily. Why would I do something like that? Says Seer, with her light grey eyes gazing warmly down at me. What do I do? I don't mind going shopping with her, and I'd feel bad to refuse her invitation. Then again, things tend to happen when I go along with her suggestions. There was the night when I came here for the first time, and just a few days ago I ended up washing dishes to help her out. I'm trapped between Lily's objections and Siz's warm smile. Just as I'm about to crumble under the pressure, the wooden floor creaks. A large shadow falls over Sia from behind. Don't push your luck. You go. Wham! A tray appears out of nowhere, slicing through the air at an angle, and slams into the back of Siz's head. It's Mia. She's standing and glaring menacingly down at Sia. She must have hit her pretty hard. Sia is holding her head, with tears bubbling up in the corners of her eyes. Don't be thinking you can take time off that easily, you little brat. And I told you equipment on my own, right? I could go by myself tomorrow. Sure, I'm not as good at judging experience. In that case, are you going to go shopping alone tomorrow, Belle? It looks that way. Then, would it be alright if I came with you? Huh? Siz's suggestion catches me off guard. I can only choke up a surprised response. Lily jumps, too, but soon crosses her arms and lowers one shoulder at Sia. She looks like a boxer before a fight. Why do you ask? I need to buy some things pretty soon anyway. I might get in the way, but if it's okay with you, Belle, I want to go shopping with you. No, Mr. Bell. Miss Sia only wants you there to carry her bags. That's right, Lily can see your hidden agenda. Mr. Bell, she's planning to make you carry so much that your bones will crack. Turn her down. I'm not going to buy that much. A bead of sweat rolls down my face after Lily's outburst. She's standing right next to me, so I look up in Siz's direction. But she seems unfazed and smirks at Lily. Why would I do something like that? Says Sia, with her light grey eyes gazing warmly down at me. What do I do? I don't mind going shopping with her, and I'd feel bad to refuse her invitation. Then again, things tend to happen when I go along with her suggestions. There was the night when I came here for the first time, and just a few days ago I ended up washing dishes to help her out. I'm trapped between Lily's objections and Siz's warm smile. Just as I'm about to crumble under the pressure, the wooden floor creaks. A large shadow falls over Sia from behind. Don't push your luck. You go. Wham! A tray appears out of nowhere, slicing through the air at an angle, and slams into the back of Siz's head. It's Mia. She's standing and glaring menacingly down at Sia. She must have hit her pretty hard. Sia is holding her head, with tears bubbling up in the corners of her eyes. Don't be thinking you can take time off that easily, you little brat. Getting full of yourself, eh? What's the big idea? Playing hooky whenever you feel like it, Mia growls under her breath. Supporting her shaking body by putting her elbows on the table, Sia looks back, only to see Mia's burning death stare. She twists her body to face Mia directly. I can't see her face, just her light grey hair tied into its usual bun with a ponytail coming out the middle. But based on her aura, I'd say she's glaring right back at Mia. Those eyes'll get you nowhere. Here, I'm the law, got that? Yeah, keep an eye on her tomorrow. Mia's nostrils flare in anger as she turns on her heel before Leah can answer, going back behind the bar counter. Our table becomes a silent island in the middle of the sea of happy voices. The tension continues for a few moments before Sia turns to face me. Belle, I've become damaged goods. Would you please pat my head and cheer me up? So, Mr. Bell, enjoy your shopping trip tomorrow and find some good stuff alone. Lily can't wait to see what you buy. I'm worried that these two will never be able to sit at the same table again. Mr. Cranel, what about after that? Eh? My question is, what are you planning to do after you have found suitable equipment? What do you mean by that? I'll take a more direct approach. Mr. Cranel, Miss Erda, do you intend to go to the middle levels as soon as you return to the dungeon? So that's what she's been asking all this time. Lily and I look at each other for a moment. We are in the same party, after all, before looking back at Liu. For starters, I'd like to test out my new strength on the 11th level. If everything goes well, I'd like to go to the 12th. Yes, that is very wise. I go on to tell her that I want to test my leveled up abilities in the upper levels, and the best place to do that is on the 12th level. Lily and I had agreed that after warming up on that level, so long as everything looks good, we'd go to the middle levels together. Liu might be worried about us, I think. It may not be my place to say this, but I believe that you should not proceed to the middle levels at this time. In other words, Miss Liu, you believe that Mr. Bell and Lily aren't good enough to make it in the middle levels? It was not my intention to insinuate that you are weak. That being said, the upper levels and the middle levels are very different. Of course Liu doesn't leave her explanation at that. It's not a problem of individual strength or ability. It becomes impossible for a solo adventurer to dispose of every monster. That's the kind of place the middle levels are. While I'm unfamiliar with the level of support Ms. Erda can provide, I'm afraid that Mr. Carnival will be unable to deal with the monsters and the dungeon layout on his own. So then, Miss Liu is saying, yes, you should add additional members to your battle party. A 3-man cell is the most basic party formation for dungeon crawling. At the very least, that's what the guild suggests. The 3-man cell, a formation that allows for attack, defense, and support roles. One member focuses on attacking the front line while another member covers him or her from monster counterattacks. The third member stays at long range, sometimes assisting the front line with a ranged weapon, spells, or healing items when necessary. The same holds true when attacked from behind. If the person in the supporting role also has the ability to hold their own against monsters, then it's possible to withstand wave after wave of attacks until the table turns into their favor. It's easy to get surrounded when working in a 2-man cell, not to mention solo. Conquering the deeper floors of the dungeon will be extremely difficult for us without at least one more party member to turn the tide in a pinch. Adding a third person won't have much impact on our individual strength, but it will make our unit exponentially stronger. Knowing all of this, Liu probably thinks that our 2-man cell party wouldn't be strong enough to survive in the middle levels. But wait a minute, Liu. Wouldn't it be easier for them to run away if it's just Belle and Lily? The more people there are, the more likely someone is to be left behind, right? While your reasoning is not flawed, Seer, the only time adventurers consider retreat is after being cornered. It is much more practical for adventurers to avoid those situations rather than plan their escape. An awestruck sound comes out of my mouth. Since she was once an adventurer herself, Liu's calculated words carry a lot of weight. You must prepare for everything. Find someone worthy of your trust and add them to your battle party. I get what she's saying. I see Lily nod out of the corner of my eye and start thinking. But, I don't know anyone like that who I could invite to join us. If I did, I would have already asked them. I suppose that's why she told me to find someone. I would ask her, but I'm sure Liu has some circumstances. The only other person who would be an option would be Natsa, in Mia Familia. But no. She's no good, either. I don't want to take anyone suffering from monster trauma into the dungeon with me. Would scouting out someone to join my familia be the best option? I start massaging my temples. Haha. Having some party problems there, little rookie. What? I'm so shocked by a sudden loud voice that I can't respond right away. While I recover from the surprise, the customer, a male adventurer, followed by 2 of his friends, comes up to our table. They stop directly across from me, and right behind Liu's chair. These guys are huge. Their square faces are covered in scars, enough to make me cringe. We heard your troubles. You need allies, yeah? Then why don't you join us, you little bastard? Eh? Okay, now I am surprised. Who would have expected a square-shouldered, red-faced man I've never met before to invite me into his own battle party? Excuse me? This ain't that hard. It's quite easy, actually. One of my fellow adventurers has a problem, and so out of the kindness of my huge heart, I'm gonna help you out. Hee hee, doesn't that sound good to you? Well, I wasn't really. Of course it does. It's called having your back. And considering it's you, we don't mind at all if you join us, yeah. Ark? How much ale did this guy drink? A wall of alcoholic stench assaults me from across the table. Seer is grimacing next to me, and Lily has a look of absolute loathing on her face. Oh yeah, that's right, she's allergic to adventurers. Liu is the closest one to them, so she should be the hardest hit by that smell. But she is just calmly sitting in her chair. Her stoic face hasn't changed a bit. So here's the deal. We'll take you to the middle levels, and in exchange... Huh? Is this situation getting worse? Let us have these ladies for a while? I'm taking this cute little fairy of an elf for myself. Whoa. Whoa. I'd like to have an elf fill my jug, if you get my drift. Don't know how much you're spending, but we scratch your back, you scratch ours. That's the basics, don't you think? Sure, I'll end up spending a lot of money tonight, but what does that have to do